My name is Serena Korda. I'm an artist working in London, UK. I've been making sculpture, performance, film, sound work for probably over 15 years. And I suppose in the last sort of 6, 7 years, I've been really focused on ceramics and sound and how those two things have a kind of sympathy with one another. The whole point of this channel is really to show the way that I maybe approach making things. It's not the only way, but it's my way, and I quite like to share that part of processes because I think my work's very process heavy and I enjoy processes. And I suppose the other thing that's exciting is that I'm setting up another studio, and as many of you who are artists out there would know, you know, studios come and go, especially in London. It can be really difficult to secure a studio and sort of know that you're going to be there for a really long time. So I suppose I've always been prepared to be on the move, even though my work can be quite heavy and there's lots of it. But I guess I'm quite good at putting shelves up because of this, but also just the notion of kind of making a space that will work for you and your practice and what you do. And what I do is very multi-layered. There's loads of different approaches within it. It's not just one thing. So I need a studio that will move and shape with the ideas that I have and the concepts that I want to follow. And I guess what's happened to me now is that I've just had a daughter, so I'm an artist mum, and that's a really new thing. And for me, having my studio in my house is like the only really feasible way that I can kind of continue practicing and making work. So I decided to move back in with my mum into the house where I grew up with my partner and my baby, and she has really been very generous with allowing me to take over this sort of side extension on the house that was once a flat. And so I'm transforming it into a studio where I know I'm going to be here for a long time. And so I have that luxury to maybe invest in a few things that I've really wanted for a long time. One of those, the main things, is a kiln. I've been making ceramics for maybe 6 years, probably said that already. And it's just really exciting to not have to maybe borrow someone else's kiln, or although I love that and I love the sort of culture and the community around that. I think the freedom to, especially with a baby now in my life, to be able to come in my studio whenever I want and fire something and see if it works and experiment in that way is an exciting new adventure. So I thought I'd take you on that adventure with me and show you basically how I'm going to build the studio and how I make things. It's not the only way to approach making things. I'll show you press molds, slip casting. It's the way I make them. It's the way I've developed my understanding. I was never trained as a ceramicist, so it's very much fine art ceramics. I'm coming at it from a much more sort of maybe sculptural approach where mistakes will happen and those mistakes will be embraced. So very much in the Buddhist philosophy of wabi-sabi, which is that kind of idea of like the broken and the imperfect and things that aren't totally symmetrical and aren't totally perfect being embraced in the work. And that's very much the way I approach making anything, but I think that's also given me a freedom in the way that I make ceramics, because a lot of things can go wrong in the process. Anyone who's done any kind of bit of ceramics in their life would know it's quite a stressful process, or it can be very therapeutic as well, but ultimately you're playing with fire and alchemy, and that should be embraced. So something I forgot to say is please subscribe to the channel and give me a like down below here, and that would be fantastic, and come see what the next episode's about, which I think will be about me buying the kiln.